Yesterday, our Brenda Rodriguez shared a story about an Idaho man who received DACA protections as a child, but is now in immigration custody after an ICE operation. ICE says agents detained 31-year-old Marco Antonio Curiel Guzman near Fairview and Curtis last week. Curiel Guzman was brought to the U.S. at age 3, received DACA in 2017, but let that protection expire in 2019. ICE says his criminal history made his detainment a priority, while the ACLU of Idaho says his case raises broader questions about the future of DACA recipients who've spent most of their lives in the U.S. In today's Reporter's Notebook, I talked to Brenda Rodriguez about how arrests like this are putting the entire Hispanic community on edge. All right, Brenda, for those who don't know, what is DACA?
It is a deferred action for childhood arrivals. It essentially grants children a permission to be in the United States. Children that were brought in from any country, gives them that permission to be here, to work here. It's only available for 2 years for them.
That would be the case for Curiel Guzman, and he does have some criminal charges pending against him, not convictions. What are those, and is that why ICE detained him?
Yeah, that's why ICE says that he was a target, because ICE tells me that they are still just focused on people with criminal records. Marco Antonio, he was brought here to the United States at the age of 3. He has pending charges, things like DUI, aggravated assault, and others. We found around 6 or 7 of them on the file.
And I learned something really interesting in your story, that DACA protection can expire. I thought it was lifetime, but that's not the case.
Yeah, well, when talking to these people, many of them adults now, that would be the ideal situation, right? Where you only have to apply once and be set. But that's not the case. You have to renew that every 2 years. You know, you have to pay a lot of money to get that renewed. So that is a barrier for some people to get that renewed.
I'm going to be doing an immigration bill.
So President Trump has said there would be a road to citizenship for DACA recipients. But now we also have former DACA recipients being detained, potentially deported. How are DACA recipients, either former or current dreamers, feeling? They seem like they're sort of in this limbo.
Yeah, it's uncertainty for them. They don't know what could happen to them come tomorrow when they go to work or to school. I did talk to the ACLU, and they tell me that they have seen and talked to families that have DACA, and they feel that that should be enough for protection. That hasn't been the case, though. They have seen people be detained without having that criminal records. And again, ICE says they're only detaining people with criminal histories. Certainly
a lot of comments and replies you have gotten on this story, and that we will get probably when we air this Reporter's Notebook today, is that we're not getting ICE's side. Why aren't we hearing ICE's side? Yeah, well, this information came from ICE. So we do have the ability to talk to them and hopefully get information. Now, do we get the opportunity to talk to them on camera? That's not always the case, or hardly ever get them to commit to doing this on camera. We are grateful, though, that they do respond to our questions and we can have that line of communication. But I think viewers want to see them on camera. They want to see them talk about these situations and why they're doing it. And that's just not the case when it comes to reporters. Yeah, but we would like that as well. We would love that, yes. So we talked about the fact that it actually costs money to renew your DACA protection. Why are some other reasons that it might expire besides just it being cost prohibitive? What we're seeing today is that DACA is being held up in courts. It's going through a legal process right now. That leaves people going through the DACA application for the very first time in limbo, maybe with the possibility of never being able to obtain DACA. And then what we're seeing with renewals is an influx of them. So now it's backed up. It's taking so much longer to get any word back for people renewing their status. So some people that I've talked to that have DACA and expire within this month, they're in limbo. They don't know what to do, but they have submitted that application. So it's stuck in a legal battle right now, and for many others, it's just a backup of applications.